There's the three-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion Scrapper Adam Pearce, and you are listening to InYourHeadOnline.com, only the best in professional wrestling radio.
All right, we're back. Welcome to In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I'm the internet icon, the pride of the Pilgrims, Jackie Jones, along with my right-hand man.
1-inch biceps, a power goat. Bah! How about that?
Well,
I did it, Jack.
Bad. You did it. And he's probably wondering right now, what kind of show am I on? We have a legend here of the wrestling business with us. We have Mr. Wrestling 2, all the way from Hawaii.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've been enjoying myself just hearing you talk.
Oh, well, that's quite the compliment. We'll let everybody know right off the bat here that you're going to be at the NWA Legends Fan Fest August 4th through the 7th in Atlanta, Georgia. And all your ticket information's at NWALegends.com. And this will actually be Intra and I 6th time going in a row. We always have a great time. And I believe this is your 2nd year in a row.
Well, I tell you, anytime I get a chance to get back to Atlanta, I'm very, very pleased and very happy because Atlanta, Georgia, the whole state of Georgia was my stomping ground, needless to say. I loved it. I loved the people there, and it was always a thrill for me to get back and see a lot of them that I haven't seen for a long time.
Mm-hmm. All right. Does that make you proud that, so many of the wrestling fans remember you and, remember different angles that you did and matches that you had?
Oh, certainly. Yeah, there's a lot of them that remember a lot of different ones out of Augusta and Columbus and just all over Atlanta, Georgia. And so I just really get all thrilled about it because, of course, I'm not in the game anymore. So my body says to me, I've had enough. So when it tells you you got enough, you better quit.
No, when you go to these the fan fests and not only meet the fans, but you meet some of the other wrestlers you haven't seen for a long time. Is that a fun experience for you?
It certainly is. It's a great pleasure to get to see these people. Needless to say, I have a lot of friends in Georgia, and that's bar none. I mean, you name it, and I got it. I used to have the police, different counties I'd go through. They'd pull me over, and I'd say, "Oh, gee, what was I doing? What was I doing?" They'd walk up to my thing and say, "Hey, Mr. Wrestling 2, you got a picture?" And so I got a picture, and I sign it and give it to them. Mm-hmm. For a minute or two, I'll say, "Oh, geez, did I get in trouble or what?" No, but everything's fine.
That brings up a point. Is it like when you would be riding from town to town, would you wear the mask?
I certainly would.
Mm-hmm. Like what is some of the lengths you would do to protect your identity?
Well, I took great pride in my mask. Let's face it. I got in the ring with it, and this is what made myself Mr. Mm-hmm. Wrestling 2. And so, therefore, if I'm going to make a career of this, I better keep that mask on. I've had people to follow me from the arena for 3, 4, 5, 10 miles down the road to see if I'm going to take the mask off. Mm-hmm. And of course, eventually I take it off. But I know when they're following me, so I just leave it on. I just go on down the road. But when you have something like that, you either take pride of it or you don't, one way or the other. My partner kind of got a little slack in that, but what the heck, that's his business,
Right. Did you have a question from the message board?
Yeah, I had a question from Specson, actually. He wants to know, who were some of your mentors during your first few years in the wrestling business?
Gosh almighty. You're going back a while. To think about it for a minute, I've been in the business for 32 years. And for me to think about things 32 years ago is a little tough. But everywhere I've went, and everywhere, all the people that I've met throughout the country, I've been to Ireland, I've been to England, I've been to Japan, and just a lot of different places. and I've been all over the United States through Canada and all that. And it's just it's a business that you really do an awful lot of traveling. People a lot of times think of it, the wrestlers got it made, but not so. Not in certain ways. We by far have things made because we go from the warm weather to the cold weather and vice versa, and it really becomes a bit of a chore sometimes. But when you like the business, when you like what you're doing, then you accept the pain and the whatnot you have to go through, as I did. And there's a lot of wrestlers that followed my footprint many ways around.
Mm-hmm. Now, last year at the Fan Fest and during the Hall of Heroes ceremony, you were inducted into the Hall of Heroes. What was that like for you?
I was inducted to the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And that was quite an experience for me. Lou Thez was there, which is a personal, very good friend of mine. We used to go out in the gym and work out, and I mean work out until your tongue hangs out. But you talk about Lou Thez, Dick Hutton. Just a lot of Pat O'Connor, a lot of these guys. These are guys that I used to hang around with, and these are the guys I used to, when I say hang around, I mean go to the gym, have workouts and whatnot. These are guys that you don't see anymore because they're all dead, unfortunately. God bless each and every one of them. But that's just something that you have to face sooner or later, as I will. But yeah, I love my business. I loved wrestling. I always have. I wrestled in the amateurs for almost four years. I did sumo wrestling for 3.5 years. Had the great pleasure of wrestling Azuma Fuji, who was a grand champion in Japan. And so it's a very thrilling business, bar none.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to bring up too many sad memories, but last year at the Fan Fest, Skander Akbar was there, and shortly after that, he passed away. Just wonder if you had any memories you'd like to share of Skander Akbar.
Skander Akbar?
Mm-hmm.
I never, well, I don't have a whole lot to say about him because, first of all, I never knew him that well. I knew him, but not as a close friend.
Uh-huh.
There's many wrestlers that I know, but I know only by names. I don't know their ways. I don't know their way they compete themselves throughout the country, because you move around so much in our business,
mm-hmm.
Or at least that's what it was, and you didn't make too many friends in the business. I didn't. There was a very few that I liked and made good friends with them, and that was about the standard of it,
Mm-hmm. Now, I was just talking to this person the other day, Steve Carino, who was telling me that he actually went to Hawaii to get the Mr. Wrestling 3 gimmick from you. Like, how did that all come about? Did he approach you and want to do the gimmick, or did you?
Yes, sir, he did. He approached me and asked my permission, which is the proper thing to do. Mm-hmm. There's so many guys that take the initiative and then go into these arenas and say they're Mr. Wrestling too. Well, that's a farce. I don't. I feel very sorry for those people, because if I was around, I would like to go down there and beat the living hell out of them. The thing of it is that I'm far too old to do it anymore. But but that's the way I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame that they take up someone else's name to make a living. Because that's ridiculous. I didn't. Mm-hmm. Why should they? They put their self in other people's eyes because they want to capitalize on someone's name. Well, that's bad news.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you were aware, they actually did an angle in TNA Wrestling where Vince Russo did a Mr. Wrestling gimmick where he had the mask.
Well, I've had to actually wrestle me with the mask, and I've had different ones to ask me about using the mask. Well, that's all well and good, but don't present yourself as Mr. Wrestling too.
Right.
That's not proper. You know, to wear the mask is one thing. To take the person's name, that's another. You know. Yeah, well, but no, they usually come around where my way of thinking.
Right. When you start wrestling with the mask on, like how much different was it? Like, what did you have to get used to?
Well, I'll tell you a story. What happened down in Florida. I actually started wearing the mask in Florida, and I went as the grappler. And my wife made all my masks, and she made a mask for me. It was purple and yellow, and I wore that thing for the first time down in Miami, Florida. And I put that thing on, went in the ring. Wow, man! Now you're talking about a fellow that was in good shape. I worked out all the time and took very good care of myself. And this is several years ago. And I went down there and got in the ring and started wrestling this fella here with that mask on as the grappler. And let me tell you something. I blew up something terrible. I mean, I couldn't hardly breathe. I almost got sick to my stomach. And I beat the young man that I got through with and got out of the ring and almost ran back to the dressing room and ripped that mask off. I couldn't get no air. You know, it's something that you have to get used to, which I wasn't at the time anyway. And because you're very limited in how wide you can get your mouth open to get air, and you know, and it really is tough. I have great admiration for people that wear masks.
Did you prefer to wrestle guys with masks? Because you know you've had feuds with guys with masks, or did you think you worked better with people without masks, or did it not matter?
Today or back after I got used to it, no, I would wrestle anybody, anytime, any place. Under any circumstances with the mask on, because I was used to it. You know, it's just something you have to get used to, and it takes approximately maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 matches before you finally get used to it fully. And once you get used to it, it's like another skin over your face. You know, it's nothing to it.
Besides breathing with the mask on, like. Since you had the mask on and you can't really make the facial expressions, maybe for so the fans can see you. Like, did you have to learn to use like more body language?
Well, my body language always kind of told its own story, and which was very violent at times. I tried to keep myself in good perspective and good keepings in wrestling itself, because I loved wrestling. I loved the fact of body contact, and that's why I did so many different kinds of wrestling. I wrestled amateur, wrestled Greco-Roman, sumo wrestling, and I did also a little bit of what do you call jiu-jitsu. Anything that really presented the body, I got into it because I loved it. You know, it's something you have to like to do, needless to say, because I've had my clock cleaned a few times, and that didn't put any brakes on anything. So it's just something you have to enjoy. You have to like it, and when you do, well, then you keep on going until your time says no. I've had enough.
I know one of your big feuds was with Magnum TA, and they did kind of like a long story where you were like his mentor, and then you eventually turned on him instead of the mentor turning on the. It's usually it's the young guy turns on the mentor, but they're a little different. Just what were your memories of that whole angle with Magnum TA?
Well, the thing with TA was that it involved not just TA. It involved also Junkyard Dog. God bless him. He's gone now too. And but Junkyard Dog just at one particular point he got into the conversation with that TA and I had. And I didn't really appreciate it at the time, and I let him know about it. And one thing led to another. And TA got bent out of shape, and I said, well, so be it. If you all can find yourself well enough to take me on, that's fine. That didn't make any difference to me one way or the other. I'm a person that I believe in saying what you feel. And sometimes it doesn't really strike the person too good on what I say. So I just, I had a rough life in the business. I was always truthful. I didn't lie or tell anybody stories. If they want to know how they are, I tell them like it is. Either you were rotten or you were good.
Right.
It's that simple. I had a fellow come up to me one day and he said, "So watch my mask and tell me how good I am." And I said, "Yeah, I'll watch it." Okay, so he went out and had a match. Came back in and he said, "Well, how did I do?" I said, "Well, it looked to me like it stunk. It was horrible." And the guy got bent out of shape. He got all mad. And I said, "Hey, wait a minute. Don't remember something. Don't ask nobody about this different things if you don't want to hear the truth. Mm-hmm. Keep your mouth shut." Mm-hmm. So it's that simple. Mm-hmm. And that was the one thing that I guess you might say that kind of put me on a bad taste with a lot of people. I don't care. I'm generally a very happy-go-lucky guy. I had a guy tell me one day, he says, "Why don't you smile when you get in the ring at a time?" I says, "Smile about what?" I said, "I got a guy across the other side of that ring. He's ready to beat the living hell out of me. I don't see anything to smile about." So there you are. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Now, last year, the Assassin, he was at the Hall of Heroes, and he was the one who inducted you. This year, he's going into the Hall of Heroes. What are your thoughts on the Assassins?
Well, the Assassin is also, he's a very tough individual. I don't really approve of a lot of things that he does in the ring, but he knows that because I've told him that to his face. But the man is a good wrestler, and why he doesn't stick to wrestling is beyond me. Again, that's their business. You do what you want to do, in throughout the however the match goes. And I always looked at the man as a very tough individual, which he is, bar none. He has a lot of good ways of handling himself, and a lot of bad ways. And so it's like one time I wrestled him one time, and he threw this fire thing at me. It burnt me on my leg, and stuff like that. I don't approve of that. I think that's wrong. But nevertheless, that's what he does. I guess he just if he can't get the job done one way, he tries to get it done another.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Who had the better mask?
What's the better mask?
Yeah.
How do you mean that?
Who had the better looking mask? You or the Assassin?
Oh, the better looking mask?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I always try to conduct. I don't think that mask really makes a person one way or the other. It's just the color of it, the design of it, and that's what they go for. And whether he looks better than me, then I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know. I don't really care. I'll be honest with you.
Interesting.
I've had a lot of very, very outstanding wrestling fans throughout the country, and well, not only that, but in Atlanta, Georgia itself. And I'll always try to conduct myself as a wrestler, and always try to conduct myself as a good man in amongst the people. But sometimes they have a bad way of introducing things, words that shouldn't be said. I mean, what you think sometimes you shouldn't express unless you're ready to back it up. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Did you have another question from the board?
Yeah, I had a question.
Sure.
Lover of beers, that's the man's name. He wants to know which was your favorite territory, and if you had any good stories from that territory.
Well, I had some good stories here in Hawaii, right where I live, and I had, and of course, Atlanta, Georgia was my absolute favorite throughout any of them, for the simple reason of the fans are really, really very responsive, and they let you know if they like you or dislike you, one way or the other, and I think that's wonderful. You know, and I try to conduct myself sometimes as clean as possible and as a good wrestler. But sometimes you get in a position where that kind of falls to the side. And they always understood that. And I think that's tremendous. That's really, really, really nice. I've been, like I said, I've been all through Canada and whatnot. Canadian people, they have a different outlook on wrestling. I went to an Indian village one time and wrestled at an Indian village. And the Indians are people that thoroughly enjoy the wrestling, but they have no expression. They don't express nothing. They're very quiet individuals. They'll sit there with their arms crossed and not say a word, no expression, no nothing. I mean, you wonder if anybody's sitting out there looking at you. But that's, you know, everybody has different ways of expressing themselves, you know.
Mm-hmm. Is that similar to like the crowd in Japan?
The crowd in Japan, no, the crowd in Japan are getting, they're a little more responsive than people in, well, let's see, Canada, and I think in Japan because they're pretty well organized mentally to where with the sumo wrestling. You know, and sumo wrestling, of course, in Japan is number one, top gun, you know. And it's, wrestling has become, or became, the same, almost in the same category. Maybe not quite, but nevertheless, you get good response, people up there, too.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've actually heard that you're going to be bringing, for the first time to one of the Fan Fest, one of your handmade robes.
That's correct,
mm-hmm.
And it's going to be for sale.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going to sell it.
Is that going to be you're going to auction it off, or just straight up?
Yeah, they're going to auction off, and because I have 3 different robes, and my sons, I have 3 sons, and they said, "Oh no, you can't do that. I want this one. I want that one." Well, let's face it, whatever they want, they can have.
Right.
So I got one robe out of the 3 of them that I had that is going to be sold. It's a rhinestone robe. It's a sequence and all that kind of stuff, and it's a very pretty robe. I had several very nice robes. To say. Nothing flamboyant, but you know, I was not really too much of a flamboyant person anyway.
I will have to start saving my money.
Yeah, right.
To break open the piggy bank.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's like what's his name? Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Ric Flair he's a very flamboyant individual. He had all these robes and everything. My wife made all his robes, and she gosh, it was some robes that he made. You're talking about $3,000, $4,000, $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Awful expensive robes, but that's what he wanted, you know. It's just it's amazing that what some people want, some people don't want. I could name a lot of guys, which I won't. I'm not good on names anyway. I got a memory about as long as my fingers.
If it was a nice robe, we'll just assume that your wife made it.
Yeah.
Exactly. We got a caller here on the line, 706 area code. Who are you, and where are you calling from?
Hey, John, I was just curious, Mr. Wrestling 2, how you feel about those lingerers, those hanger-oners that still try to portray themselves as being you.
Well, I don't have much to say about guys like that because I think they're idiots, every damn one of them. They shouldn't. They shouldn't portray anybody. Take someone's name to make a name for themselves. That's crazy. You want to make a name for yourself? Get some. Get your own name and do it. I didn't copy anybody, and why should anyone copy me? Just because I got very popular in Georgia. There's a few of them that, from what I understand, ran around and tried to portray myself. Well, first of all, people that see once they see the person in the ring, they know who it is. They know it's not me. Because they know the way I walk, the way I talk, my mannerisms and everything else. But the thing of it is, I had a match with some guy that I can't even remember his name, but he was out of Macon, Georgia. And
Joe Powell, he passed, yeah.
Yeah, Powell, that was his name.
Yeah, he passed.
Yeah, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, he tried to portray myself again, which was wrong. He copied my moves. He wasn't 100%, but he was close. But nevertheless, I got a match with him in Atlanta, Georgia, and I beat the living crap out of him. That's the way I felt. That's the way I felt about it, and that's what he got. Anybody that would do that. I was in good enough shape to where I could back up my mouth. What I'm trying to tell you. Mm-hmm. If I said I could do something, I'll do it. I was a very straightforward, very honest individual, and he just went upon himself to betray someone that he shouldn't have done. But he was just one. God bless him. Of course, you said he was gone now, so.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm excited about Atlanta. I'm excited about seeing you. NWALegends.com. They always have a great event there in Charlotte, and this year we get it here in the Peach State, and it'll be good to see you. And I hope, because during my travels, I see a lot of these imposters from time to time. I hope one of them will get a little excited and see you face to face and try that knee out one more time from the original. Because, I mean, it's something, even guys listening, I don't know if you're aware or not, but even school teachers, principals of schools have run for office portraying to be Mr. Wrestling 2, and this is just, it's really out of hand, especially in Georgia, but I'm sure it happens everywhere. But yeah, if they want to come on up to FanFest and meet Mr. Walker face to face, I got a feeling that knee will get a little excitement in it one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what, my partner, he knows all about it. Well, at least God bless him, he's gone too. But Tim Woods, he and I was wrestling in a match down in Tampa, Florida, and that came about because of some dispute that we had together, and we said, well, let's settle this in the ring. So we had a match in the ring, and I backdropped, and he went to get up, and when he did, I was out in left field coming in at him, and I came and I hit him with that knee, and it blacked both of his eyes. So all we could do is just stand back and laugh about it.
Hey, one last question, Mr. Wrestling 2, before I jump off. I heard you mentioning the robe that you're going to have there for sale in Atlanta at the NWALegends.com Fan Fest. And I wanted to ask you, over the years of your wife making those robes,
what was the most expensive robe that you may have seen leave the house?
I think it was right at almost $6,000. It was a robe that she made for Ric Flair, and that had rhinestones in it that were imported from Austria. And my wife tried to get the best rhinestones that were the most brilliant ones, and she tried the German rhinestones for a while, but they would go dull after a while. But the ones, so she got tied in with the Austrian ones, and but that was the God knows they're very expensive. That was probably the most expensive robe that I'd ever seen. It could have been more something that I didn't know about, but that's the one that stood out in my mind as far as the expense is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Look forward to seeing you in Atlanta, sir, and God bless you, and safe travels, and I'm glad you're feeling well, and look forward to it so much. And thanks, guys, for doing the interview tonight.
Yep. Thanks for calling in.
Well, God bless you too, my man, and you be sure and stop by and see me when I get over there.
Mm-hmm.
I will do that. I'll try to round up Ralph Fried and a few others to make the trip as well.
Okay. Sounds like a win.
See ya.
Speaking of the knee lift, a lot of guys still do the knee lift, and they even call it, the Mr. Wrestling 2 knee lift. Does that make you proud that people are still doing the move, and they actually, and they still credit you for it?
Oh, they can. That's fine. That doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
They can try all the moves, or any move that I had. They can try it, and if they're successful at it, fine. If they're not, better let it alone. You know what I mean? Because sometimes different moves, if you don't do them well enough, then it gets you in trouble. So not from me so much, but I mean, in wrestling, you might try something and it doesn't work too good. It might get reversed, and you'll end up on the short end of the stick. So, but no, I'm very proud and very honored that they call it the Mr. Wrestling's move, or
Mr. Wrestling 2 knee lift.
Yeah, I was the first one that ever really started that, and it just came a natural thing with me. And I actually started down in Florida, and it just really just clicked, and it was good. It was a good move. I felt good with it, comfortable and whatnot. That's what the kind of feelings you gotta have when you find a move that you feel good at.
Mm-hmm. I actually read an interview where you said that Eddie Graham was the guy who suggested you wrestle with a mask on. Like, what was his reasoning that he thought you would take off with a mask?
Well, I don't know what his reason really was, but he was right. I mean, he had good hindsight of people that some people don't have, and they think they have, but they don't have. But he watched I've always kept an eye on him. He was a very smart individual, a very clever man, really, and he promoted down in Florida for a long time, and he was a great wrestler, as a matter of fact. And I wrestled him one time in a tag team match. Neff Mayava and myself wrestled him in a tag team match against him and Buddy Rogers. And I never cared much for Buddy Rogers one way or the other. And of course I let him know about it in the ring. Buddy Rogers was the kind of guy. When he knew that he was in trouble, he wouldn't get in the ring. At least not when I was in there anyway. So it was funny. But anyway, Eddie Graham was a very, very talented young man, and God bless him. He's gone too. So it's just. It just seems like I consider myself a very fortunate young man because of the fact that I had the opportunity of not only working out with some of the absolute best in the business, but that I got to know each one, and that means a lot. It's just like boxers or football players or anyone else. You get in the ring, you get in the field, whether it's football, baseball, volleyball, whatever it may be, and you go in there as a contest. And so whether you hate the person or whether you don't like the person or you like the person, doesn't make any difference. You go in there and you try to win, and that's what I did. And Lou Thez, absolute gentleman, let me tell you. Mm-hmm. He was, when my wife passed away, the one call I never did expect was from Lou Thez. He called me from I was here in Hawaii, and he called me from Florida. And so he just, I couldn't believe it. I said, whoa, geez. He let me know who he was. I didn't recognize his voice at first, but Lou and I was very, very close friends. Mm. And, just Pat O'Connor, Lou Thez, Dick Hutton, these are guys that I really stood out probably more prominent with for the simple reason is that they were not only good wrestlers, but they were good people. Mm-hmm. And same thing goes with some others. I see my brain goes dead sometimes. I can't think of the name of these guys. Yeah, but they're all they were former heavyweight champions, world champions. What? And go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying because when you brought up Buddy Rogers and you weren't the biggest fan of his, and you talk about Lou Thez, and there was always a famous story where when Buddy Rogers had the NWA belt and in the WWF, and Lou Thez came to take it away, and he was in the ring with them and told them we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. Did you ever hear that story?
Well, they didn't want to do it the hard way with Lou Thez. Right. I know Thez like I know myself, and he had the same feeling towards what's his name, Nancy?
Buddy Rogers.
Buddy Rogers. Mm-hmm. Buddy Rogers to me was a very poor individual. He had a very bad outlook on life. He treated the people that he knew he could treat very poorly. And I have nothing good to say about the man, and which there's several of them in the business that I don't have good things to say about him, and I don't mind telling you, or them too. But that's just the way it is. He was a very outstanding young man. Lou Thez was a very, very, very neat person. He carried the belt very proudly, and he presented himself in every town, not just so and so, but every town, everywhere he ever went, he always presented himself at the best way.
Yeah. When you think world champion, you really think Lou Thez, just like an iconic figure, as like the champion.
I think Lou Thez was probably Dick Hutton and Lou Thez were probably and Pat O'Connor. Mm-hmm. They were probably the three men in the wrestling, and one other. I'm trying to think of his name. Gosh almighty, he's out of Texas. Amarillo, Texas.
Dory Funk?
Dory Funk, thank you. Dory Funk, they were very prominent young men and very, very outstanding, and people that you not only like, but you can respect them. And they used some tactics that weren't really perhaps the best in the business, but they didn't get nasty in there, and they used their wrestling backgrounds, which that you have to look up to these guys, and they didn't shy away. If you want to take them to the gym and have a workout, why they didn't say, "Oh, I don't have time. I have to go to the bathroom or something."
Right.
They would tell you in a heartbeat, let's go and see what you got, see what you're made of. So they were good people.
Mm-hmm. I would say both Dory and Terry Funk. They're going to be at the Fan Fest this year in Atlanta, Georgia, and you get all your information at NWALegends.com, August 4th through the 7th. Did you ever wrestle? Did you wrestle both Dory and Terry? And what was like the difference?
I certainly did. Yes,
what was
I
the
did.
difference between the two?
I wrestled Terry Funk in Madison Square Gardens, actually, and in New York, and I wrestled Dory Funk in Florida quite a bit. So it was they had the utmost respect for me, and vice versa. I had very highly respect for them too. They deserved it. You know, when you find people that uphold themselves like men, well, you have to respect that. If not, why then you do what you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dory's more of like the classic wrestler. Terry's more a little crazier.
Oh yeah. Terry Funk was he probably about as wild as they come, I guess. he was a good bull rider, I would say. You know, he loved to get in there and mix it up with whoever it may be, and he didn't pull any punches. That's what I liked about him. And Terry Funk was more the scientific wrestler. He had different ways that some things I didn't approve of, but that's beside the point. There's a lot of things that different wrestlers have that I don't approve of, but that's their way of doing it. That's fine with me. You just have to, either do something a little bit better than them, or get your clock cleaned, one or the other. So, but it's just like I said. There's not many guys in the business that I like. There's quite a few people in the business I don't like, and I let them know about it. If they want to do something about it, well then, hopefully not right away, because I'm not able anymore. But back when, about 20 years ago, I would take on anybody any given time. But it's just like Greg Price. He's a guy that I think the highest respect for that man. He's a guy that don't tell stories. You know what I mean? You can take whatever he says to the bank. He's a very straightforward young man, and he does his business the way it should be, and he takes advice if he needs it, and So I think very very highly of Greg. I really do.
One more message board question. Crusher Cox from message board. He wants to know, which masked wrestler would you consider your greatest rival out of the following? And he's got Mr. Wrestling, Masked Superstar, the Spoiler Dan Jardine, and the Assassin Jody Hamilton.
Oh my God, jeez! Let me tell you something. Every one that he mentioned are tough. And whatever I could do to keep myself above water, I did, because they didn't pull no punches one way or the other. They were tough, and it's like you run up against a door. Some doors collapse and fall down. Some doors don't give. It's like one time I wrestled Azuma Fuji in sumo wrestling. He came from Japan into Hawaii, and I backed off, and we had the opportunity to work out with him, and I put my little straps on and everything that the sumo wrestlers wear, and I got in the ring with him, and he stood there. He weighs 528 pounds. I was 190 pounds. I'll just let you do your own math on that one, and I went down, and I was a very strong young man. This was back in 1958, I think it was. Yeah, and I was in good shape and very, very, very strong. And I got down and I hit him with everything I had, and all I did was jiggle his boobies up and down. He didn't move a muscle one way or the other. He stood there and went, ha. Yeah, I said, well, okay. Yeah, I'll take you. I went down a little lower, and I got him by the straps, and I got my belly up underneath his, and I picked him up about 2 inches off the ground. And after I got him up there, I couldn't move. It's too much weight. So I put him back down. I came at him again, and he caught me on the side over there and flung me in the air like I was a piece of tissue paper. But I tell you, it was enjoyable. It was an experience, and it was very outstanding. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
You can imagine someone telling you that he enjoyed getting tossed on his head. But it's just the way it was. You run across all kinds of people, all kinds of wrestlers, all different kinds of styles. As far as people concerned about on my traveling and whatnot, it was different people that I had to go up against and whatnot. I had another. I was going to tell you something else that happened with me, but it left me. I can't remember now. It's awful. See, that's the way it is.
Well, we got a couple people here on the line there. I think someone had their dog. He's barking in the background. 404 area code. Who are you?
That's Terry Lawler.
Okay, how you doing? You got a question for Mr. Wrestling?
Not so much a question as Mr. Wrestling 2. My brother go back years ago, Steve Lawler, back in the Georgia Territory stuff, and I just wanted to basically call in and thank Mr. Wrestling 2 for all he's done for this business, continues to give to this business, and for all the memories, and mainly for inspiring me to become a pro wrestler.
Well, buddy, God bless you. I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot. I hope you all the best in the world. Needless to say, and just take care of yourself and don't try not to get yourself injured too awful bad. Myself, I've gotten my knees are bad, my arms are bad. I got my neck broke and everything, and I've had my injuries. Needless to say, but. You try to take care of yourself the best you can, and do it right. If you know what I mean.
I was there at the TV taping, your last TV taping here in Georgia. I was just breaking into the business when you were stepping out, and was actually on the same card than your last match in Georgia over in Snellville.
Oh, Snellville. Okay.
I still got a picture. Yeah. You had your Hawaiian shirt on, and I still got the picture. I was taking photos of that night also stuff, but just want to call in and thank you so much for all you've done for us.
Well, God bless you, my man. I appreciate it very much, and if you get a chance, be sure and come up to me and let me know who you are. Names, I apologize because I don't remember names too good. But I do remember faces. So if you get a chance, come up and say hi to me when I get over there.
Well, most definitely, sir. You can take care, sir, okay?
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for calling in.
You bet.
770 area code.
Yes, this is Randy Gillibo from. This is Randy from Monroe, Georgia.
How you doing, Randy? You got a question for Mr. Wrestling too?
Yeah, John. This is Randy. I got to spend a lot of time with you last year up in Charlotte, and just wondering how you doing.
Well, I'm doing real well. I had my problems, needless to say. In Charlotte, North Carolina, when the thing was all over and done with, I had a heart attack, and it kind of took me down pretty good. And but I'm back on my feet again, which I had a little bit of a trouble getting around for a while. But I'm back on my feet, and I'm doing very good according to my doctors over here. And they're feeding me pills like I feel like I'm in a walking drugstore. But that's what you have to do sometimes to keep your head above water.
Yeah, I'm the one that sent you the cards in the hospital up there last year. You remember me?
Oh no, sir, I don't. Please forgive me.
All right. You'll remember me at the Hall of Fame dinner, like you said. You remember the faces.
Yes, sir. When I see you, I definitely will remember you.
Yeah, you said you don't.
Go ahead.
You said I look. You said I look like your friend Bo.
Oh, okay.
I hope that's a compliment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a.
But I hope you're doing fine, and we'll see you at the Fan Fest.
Okay, my man. God bless you. You take care of yourself.
Thanks for calling in, Randy. Well, we'll let everybody know again that it's August 4th through the 7th in Atlanta, Georgia. And you get all your information at NWALegends.com, NWA Fan Fest. Last few years it's been in Charlotte. This year we're going to Atlanta. I'm really looking forward to it. This will be our 6th time. This will be Mr. Wrestling's 2nd time in a row. And is there anything you'd just like to, tell everybody, why they should come out and see you?
Well, I tell you what, I think they ought to come out and see not only myself, but a lot of people, wrestlers that you don't see anymore that do wrestle or used to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as promotion is concerned, Greg Price, he's the man above anybody. Believe me, he's a nice man, a good man, and he gets the best. You want the best? When you hear the name Greg Price, you know that he's got the best.
Mm-hmm. I'll just mention a couple names real quick. I mentioned the Funks will be there. Dr. D, David Schultz is going to be there. He hasn't been to anything for a long time, I don't believe. $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Do you have any stories on Dr. D, David Schultz? I don't know if you had any connection with him. Or...
Mike DiBiase. I wrestled his daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God almighty. I wrestled his dad back in oh, God, I can't remember the name of the town right now. Dang. But, yeah, you're talking about, oh, my goodness, many, many years ago. But, yeah, his dad was a very outstanding wrestler. Mm-hmm. Good man. He was a good man. And DiBiase finally came around, and he's doing pretty good himself.
Nick Bockwinkel, he's going to be there.
Nick Bockwinkel. I've had the pleasure of wrestling him too, out in Los Angeles, California. And it's it's just that's the one thing that I like and enjoy very much is to go to these functions to see these guys that I haven't seen in years. And it brings up old memories, whether they're good or bad, regardless. It's water under the bridge. Matches are over. It's done with, so therefore he's not in action anymore. I'm not in action anymore. So what are you going to go walk around and throw knives at one another? I mean, so no, I love them both. I love them all. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I say we really appreciate coming on tonight.
Well, it was my pleasure, my man. God bless you. I had a very good time in talking to everybody, and I'll be looking forward to getting over there and seeing all the other fans and whatnot, especially the ones that followed me around for many, many years in Georgia. And I have other things in my head, but I can't remember. It's terrible that my memory banks have gone kapoof anymore. But nevertheless, I'm looking forward to getting over there and seeing you and everyone else.
Mm-hmm. You can see if 1 Inch Biceps lives up to his name.
Say that again?
You can see if 1 Inch Biceps here lives up to his name.
Oh. I didn't get that at all when you first said that. I said, what did he say? I kept trying to think, what is he talking about? What is it, 1 inch bicep? Oh, my goodness. That's the size of my wrist.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Maybe you could give him some workout tips.
Yeah. Oh, God. I have to be over there. I'll give you some workout tips.
I'm all ears.
Oh, shucks. Well, God bless you, my man. You take care of yourself and give everybody my very best. And I enjoyed your conversation very much.
Yep, had a great time. Thank you for doing it.
You betcha.
Okay.
God bless you. You take care.
Thanks, man. You too.
Oh, okay. Bye-bye.
Yep.
This is Joey Funk. You are listening to InYourHeadOnline.com.